Hey everyone, we're live at the Paste Studio in New York right now with Anti-Flag. Guys, thank you for being here.
Yeah,
thank you for having us.
Here.
Yeah.
Feels real good. We feel like we're among friends here. We've got some common punk rock ties in our past, and that makes me feel very at home. So that's good.
Proud
it's good
to be in the
amongst
space
friends.
that Amanda Palmer occupied.
Yes,
held
too.
like a sit-in.
This does feel wonderful. I agree, man. We've known each other for perhaps an hour now, but it feels like we've been homies for like 2 hours.
Yeah,
And I really
I'm gonna
appreciate
push for maybe even
That's
like
your third Bud Light
plus
talking.
hours. Yeah.
Today's episode brought to you by Bud Light.
Not brought to you by T-Mobile, which will not deliver a signal in this place.
nor by United Airlines, which will definitely break your guitar.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you for being here. We're going to hear 4 songs today, and 2
Correct.
of them are from 2020 Vision, which is coming out. Pre-congratulations to you guys. It's coming out on January 17th on Spine Farm.
Amazing,
and,
thanks.
We'll hear 2 songs from that, 2
Right.
from across the catalog. Can you tell us what's happening first?
Yes, so you guys are the guinea pigs of this because we've not done any of these songs acoustic from 2020 Vision. And this song in particular, nobody outside of ourselves and the people that made the record have ever heard it. It's called 2020 Vision.
Yeah, so it's not out there in the world, and
Yes.
it's really cool to share it here for the first time.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that, jokes and puns of where we're at in our lives aside, these times are heavy and tumultuous. And if you are a person that carries empathy and you are paying attention at all, it feels very difficult to just get through a day. So this song in particular is just a song of solidarity for those that carry a conscience, those that want to speak up for those who are the targets and the victims of neo-fascist movements around the world. And the song's called 2020 Vision, and we're going to try not to make a mistake, but no one's ever heard it, so you'll never know if we did. I had a 2020 vision of the last of the wrongs undone. No more hate, no division. No one is free until the war is won. Now there's a silence on the radio. Now there's a hole right through our hearts. And the last of the wicked waiting to tear us all apart. Carry on, carry on, carry on. Tell me which side are you on? Carry on, carry on, carry on, one by one. Is there an answer to the question? When will this come to its end? Do we just keep on repeating all the things that the lonesome did? Carry on, carry on, carry on. Tell me which side are you on? Carry on, carry on, carry on, one by one. All right. I had a 2020 vision of the last of the wrongs undone. No more hate, no division. No one is free until the war is won. Carry on, carry on, carry on. Tell me which side are you on? Carry on, carry on, carry on. For the people or the gun. Carry on, carry on, carry on, one by one. One by one.
good start to a new song.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I think a big part of this new record is just having empathy, and we really wanted to put forward a vision for the future. I mean, we released a single recently and a video recently called Hate Conquers All, and it kind of shows a dystopian future that we can head towards. But that song in particular, 2020 Vision, it's sort of having more of a moral clarity and taking us into 2020 with a moral clarity, thinking about where we actually can go and having empathy and standing up for people who can't stand up for themselves, giving a voice to people who have no voice. You want to go 1915?
Yeah.
I think that yeah, all right, well, fair enough. Speaking of which, I mean, this is a song, that's speaking up for workers. I mean, right now you have the United Auto Workers. They just finished a strike. They showed the power of solidarity. The fact that when people come together, they actually have the power to push back against the elite class who want nothing to change. They want the status quo intact.
The CTU in Chicago.
That's right. Right now, the CTU, the Teachers Union, they're on strike. They're fighting for their rights, and they're fighting for the rights of students. The fact that students should be in an environment where they actually have an opportunity to learn. And I believe that in a country such as America, it's a human right to gain an education. And to give yourself the best possibility to have a better life. And so, these songs are a look at the fact that when you look at what's happening in a place like Chile or all over the world right now in Europe, there are people that are coming together to say no to the status quo. And there was somebody that this song was written about.
Joe Hill.
Hill.
So yeah, just kind of in the in our four parents of protest music, we wrote the song about Joe Hill, and it's for all the people in the streets around the world, and it goes like this. It's called 1915. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. In a letter to every president, congressman, career politician, scorn and spite across the envelope with all of our convictions. It only took a few hours for his peers to find him guilty in a Trojan affair. A wobbly immigrant worker has no place amongst the living. My body, if I could choose, to ashes it reduced. Murdered by the capitalists, 1915. Be careful what you wish. Who is wrong and who is righteous? And what was stolen from us we will replace. But with the head on the body we feast. Who is wrong and who is righteous will never be our own decision. To the squad with guns, they stopped his heart from beating. Every word he wrote, he spoke, he sung. We are still singing. My body, if I could choose, to ashes it reduce. And let some breezes blow to where some flowers grow. Perhaps some fading flower then will come to life and bloom again. Take a notion, they can stop all speeding trains. Every ship upon the oceans, they could tie with mighty chains. Every wheel in the creation, every mine in every mill, facing armies of all nations, will it all come and stand still? All right.
Sick. All right. So,
do another new one.
Another new one, yeah. It's funny. We were on our way over here, and obviously, like, this isn't something that we do every day, sitting around playing with acoustic guitars.
No.
You can do it every day. You're welcome to come back here every day and do this. I'm having a great time
We'll see you tomorrow morning for another 2-hour performance.
But we are often, just like when we get asked to do this, we kind of pull it together. And, because we're a rock band, you kind of have to figure out how do you take a song that was written as a rock song and turn it into a folk song. But we do have certain songs that were more written in a folk tradition. And, a big part of punk rock is the idea that it in many ways, not always, but quite often they're songs that are meant to be for all people. And
yeah, dude, This Machine Kills Fascists, man. You know Woody Guthrie's guitar.
Yeah, sure.
Like,
and
Woody Guthrie's a good segue.
Woody Guthrie is a great segue in the idea that, writing music, especially like writing a chorus that you can share with people, and then by the end of the song, everybody knows the chorus. So even if you've never heard the song before, maybe you're able to pick up the chorus as the song goes on, and by the end, you can include everyone in.
Billy Bragg told us when we were kids, you catch more flies with honey.
Yeah, absolutely. and I think that this next song was written very much kind of in that folk tradition. And, like you mentioned, Woody Guthrie, when I was a kid, a very young kid, and I should mention, like, there's so many folk artists that influenced us, whether it was like Joan Baez and Ani DeFranco, God, and, Woody Guthrie and his son, Arlo Guthrie, was actually quite famous in his own realm, in his own way. And when I was a kid, I actually saw Arlo Guthrie at a really famous song called Allison's Restaurant.
Yeah.
And my parents took me with them to a big...
Side note, his parents were hippies, so that's why they took it.
Definitely. They weren't hippies, though, so much in the idea that they had long beaded hair or braided hair with beads, whatever, they tie-dye hippies. But they were hippies really in the idea of activism, the idea that we should take care of each other. They were, they were early opponents of the nuclear arms race.
Well, hip to the idea that we ought to be empathetic to other people.
Yeah,
and that's what that means. That's what
they,
hipsters are. That's what hep cats were. That's what...
Exactly.
Beautifully said that we should fight for the planet. We should fight for other people. But coming back to Arlo Guthrie, the son of Woody Guthrie, after his show, my parents hung around the festival grounds because they knew a lot of people. And I actually got to meet him. And I was just a very little kid. And he actually, Arlo Guthrie said to me, hey, what's your name? And I said, oh, my name's Justin. And he said, well, Justin, what do you want to be when you grow up? At that time, I was obsessed with trains because my parents lived next to the train tracks. And, the trains would go by every day, and I'd hang out down there and wave to the engineers. The engineers would wave back. And when you're a little kid and a train just goes right past you, I mean, it's really intense. It's a really intense experience. And it was always really fun when they would wave to me. So I was obsessed with being a train engineer. That's what I was going to do when I grew up.
You still got time, bro.
I do. But
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, right.
You're not on the right path.
Penn Station is right there. There's so many trains.
But so I told him I wanted to be a train engineer, and he was like, no, I'll tell you what, Justin, if you want to see more of the world, you tell mom and dad here to get you a guitar, and you can become a musician, and you can travel all over the world. So maybe that was very fortuitous.
There it is.
Arlo Guthrie.
I'm here today because of Arlo Guthrie, so thank you.
But, very much like Arlo Guthrie fought for many of the issues that we believe in today. And that folk tradition really inspired us. And right now we're living in, it's 2019. We have a president and a vice president. They're doing everything that they can to roll back the rights on LGBTQ plus people, on women, people of color, of the people who are the most vulnerable in our society. And this next song, it's a song about the fact that we're not going to let politicians hide behind their religion as an excuse to scapegoat people and as an excuse to persecute people. And it's really important to point out the fact that the ideology that's being put forward by these politicians is a neo-fascist ideology that's very similar to the ideology of the fascists of the 1930s. And when we see that, we're going to call it out.
Yeah.
And we're going to stand up to it. And that's very much what this song's about. And without further ado...
I'm sorry, you're going to play it in C?
Going to play it in C.
Okay.
Yeah. That's an important note.
Just avoiding disaster there.
That's right. There we go.
Yeah.
And this one's called Christian Nationalist.
All right.
Oh, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and history is rife with the likes of you. History is written with the likes of you. Never back down in the face of the likes of you. Never back down in the face of the likes of you. You're no better than the rest. White neo-Christian nationalist, religious loyal litmus test. White neo-fascist supremacist. Whoa, oh, whoa, oh, whoa, oh, 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 oh. Whoa, oh, whoa, oh, whoa, oh, oh. Off on the charade of a century, with a vengeance in your veins for your enemies. Hate in your heart and division in your eyes. You got quiz to convert, you got lies to entice. And I can show you what compassion hit up. Patriotism, so this nationalism, your theocratic beliefs are moral weapon full of venom. Armageddon, you're no better than the rest. White neo-Christian nationalist, religious loyal litmus test. White neo-fascist supremacist, and we reject theocracy, we reject your view of the world. You're no better than the rest. White neo-Christian nationalist. We all know who you are, yeah. We all know who you are. We all know who you are. You're no better than the rest. White neo-Christian nationalist, religious loyal litmus test. White neo-fascist terrorist. You're no better than the rest. White neo-Christian nationalist, religious loyal litmus test. White neo-fascist supremacist. We all know who you are, yeah. We all know who you are. We all know who you are, yeah. We all know who you are. That's the fucking truth.
Right. We never did that before.
No, we never did that before.
Dude, thank you for bringing it here, man. That is the fucking truth.
Really
We're
nervous.
stoked that you guys just did that here, and the language that you use in order to express the ideas that you're expressing, it seems very measured and particular. Like you're thinking about the words that you're saying before you say them. You are educated dudes, and talking about the importance of education in this country, and around the world. Can you talk a little bit about, in addition to the music that you guys play and getting this message out there into the world, can you talk about causes that are near and dear to your heart, and particularly what people can do in order to take action immediately on the things that are important to you guys?
Yeah, great. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
There are tremendous. We don't shy away from being a gateway drug to activism, and there's a hypercriticism that comes to punk rock and comes to music like ours that is so specifically message based, that is like, you're preaching to the choir when you play a show to several hundred people, and they all already agree with you. Like, what are you doing? So,
and that's this too. Paste audience tends to be a pretty left-leaning audience, so we're gonna get a lot of agreement here. It doesn't. We don't shy away from amplifying that message, even though we are preaching to the choir.
Yeah, of course.
It's still important to say it.
Yeah, and furthermore, it's also about like almost like a hand raise, like taking account of the people in the room who are those that are folks that carry this idea of social and racial and economic justice with them. So, for example, we're not going to do it on an acoustic guitar, but we have a song called Fuck Police Brutality, and we play that at most shows that we play, including the large festivals. And it's really about getting people to acknowledge that police murder is wrong and raise their hands and be counted for as folks that believe that we should demilitarize the police, that African American communities are murdered at alarming rates, and this is something that as a society we should discuss and do work to change. And so I think that this idea that, you know, the echo chamber reverberation doesn't mean anything, I think is wrong, because there's a lot of people who come into this thing feeling
feeling alone,
isolated, feeling not strong in themselves and their ability to do the work that needs to be done to leave the world a better place than we found it. And so this couple of minutes that we have with each other, the shows that we have, these things lift us up, lift you up. You know, speaking of specific organizations, you can go to Amnesty International right now and sign a goddamn petition that's going to save someone's lives or life. And you walk away from that knowing that, you know, it was on the internet. Like, it was like, right, you know, you can leave watching us right now and go do it, because it's...
Well, don't do that. Keep watching this, but then when this ends, please go to Amnesty International.
It's a tangible thing that you can do to put out positivity into the world immediately. Yeah. And there are a lot of things like that, you know.
Right. Well, you know, Sea Shepherd's something that we, you know, an organization we work with a lot. We work with the animal rights organization, specifically PETA, a lot, because they're well organized and they can come out to shows. And, you know, I was drawn into music, specifically punk rock, because it was a community. I was looking for a community. I was somebody out there that was roaming and lost. I cared about certain things, but I felt alone. When I found punk rock, I realized I wasn't alone. And so I don't think that it's a waste of time to be in a community of like-minded people. I think that actually what it does is it gives people the strength to know that I'm not alone in this world that's really hard to get through a lot of times, and that there are other people who care about the things that I care about, and that's what inspires people not to give up.
Oh my gosh.
T-Mobile!
You're the one T-Mobile customer that gets reception in this room?
I guess it is, yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Who is it? Do you want to take it?
We talked.
Do you want to take it? Who is that?
It was a.
I was hoping it was your dad.
I was hoping it was my dad. That would be a good time. He'd be like, "What's your?" My dad's from Ireland, and he would be like, "What's is the internet, lad?" But but so in the idea that there is community building done at the show, and when we meet people 10 years, you know, from now, we'll meet people who will say, I was at your show and I learned about animal rights, I got ideas about being a vegan at your show. Being
well, one of the greatest
and there's one right there. So 10 years ago you was at a show.
This is time for that picture, man. This is
there is a picture. It's outside.
But we learned about those things at punk shows.
Yeah. Bad Religion came to town and it changed my life, you know. I do think that there is a, like, it would have been sick if we broke up a long time ago and now we were bigger than ever because we got back together. That would have been awesome. I would enjoy that. You know, like the perks that
it's
come
not
with
too
that.
late, man. You can start conducting trains, break up, and then come back in 10 years.
The one great incentive of 20 years of not quitting is that we do get to play the show in Milwaukee like we did the other day. And the kid comes up and he says, I saw you at a Warped Tour in 2000, and now I work in the local government here. And, you know, and that happens to us 9 times out of 10 at every show we play, where we interact with somebody who found, not because of Anti-Flag, but they found punk rock.
Well, and, not because of Anti-Flag.
Well, sure, I mean, but it's
an ingredient in
we ain't
in the
nobody's
whole.
savior, dog. But I also think that it is one thing that we can, as a band, hang our hat on, is saying, like, look, this work has value, because you do see an ebb and flow of people who get interested in punk rock, specifically in American culture more than anything. You're there when you're 18 to 22, and then you get a job and you can't keep worrying about this shit anymore. You got to go away. And so I'm okay if that was what our interaction was in your life from 15 to 20, you know. Just carry some of this work with you in the things that you move on to do.
Sure.
Well,
and then
this is, I mean, it's very important to us. I love this job. Like, all we do is live stream music, and it rules. Like, this is what happens in this room. And if there is ever an opportunity to enjoy the music, but also use this platform to say things that truly do matter, then it's just a double bonus. So I really do appreciate you guys' time today.
We'll talk more than we'll play. So we should do another song.
And actually, we have one song left, and I'm glad that we're kind of talking about this, because this really is a song about what you're talking about, which to me is hope. You know, the idea that when we lose hope, I mean, the powers that be want us to lose hope. They want us to get cynical. They want us to give up and fucking go away. And, you know, this song's very much about doing the opposite. It's about keeping hope, finding like-minded people to inspire you. You get out there, you keep fighting, and that's very much what this song's about.
Yeah, cynicism is our greatest enemy. It's much easier to spread than optimism. Apathy is much easier to spread than empathy. So thank you guys for using the voice that you have to spread empathy.
Well, thank you for making this room cool.
Well, I lost my baby to a foreign war. Yeah, she was cut down in the gunfire of the Western world. Well, she was living in sin, I was living in a lie. She was caught up in the glimmer of a rich man's eye. I couldn't see her from the other side. This is son, there is no glory in your pride. But I will wait at the Brandenburg Gate, at the Brandenburg Gate, I'll wait. I will wait at the Brandenburg Gate, at the Brandenburg Gate, I'll wait. I'll wait. Cut down in the gunfire of the Western world. And she was searching for salvation in the things you buy. I was finding every reason to give up on life. And if you love something, then give it away. Oh no, can't come back unless you're free. I will wait at the Brandenburg Gate, at the Brandenburg Gate. I'll wait. I'll wait at the Brandenburg Gate, at the Brandenburg Gate. I'll wait, I'll wait, I'll wait, I'll wait. Somewhere in the in-between, where the East and the West meet, at the 30-year war where I came clean, that's where you'll find me. I'll wait. I'll wait. Whoa, 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 whoa. Brandenburg Gate, at the Brandenburg Gate, I'll wait. I'll wait at the Brandenburg Gate, at the Brandenburg Gate, I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait. Well, I lost my baby to a foreign war. Thanks, friends.
Sick, dude. Oh, yeah. Thanks a lot. That was a good time.
Dude, this is outstanding. Thank you guys so much for coming through. Have a great show. You're at Mercury Lounge tomorrow night.
Yeah.
November 8th, you're at House of Machines in LA.
Yeah.
UK and Europe in January and February, and then back to North America. There's
so
dates.
much work. Please don't remind me anymore.
Yeah.
Back to our hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And it's dates announced all the way through May. It's all up at antiflag.com. The album 2020 Vision is coming out January 17th on Spine Farm. And dude, this has been a total pleasure. Do come back tomorrow. Do another one if you want.
Hell yeah.
That's all we know. Goodbye. Bye, Internet.
Peace out. Thanks again.
Thank you.